guys, ladies, guys, whoever, welcome back to Let's Talk Chicago Bears. Yep. Well, I'm sure everybody has gotten over last Sunday, okay? So let's move on. It was one game. Of course, I wasn't happy like everybody else, but it is one game. We have 16 more to go, and Sunday we're going to play Tampa Bay. So let's just see what happens. Everybody needs to calm down. I'm sure everybody's caught their breath by now. And they are like, okay, we love our Bears. And, there was so much hype in the off season and so much hype going into this game that everybody expected, like, this team to be, phenomenal. The next coming. And it didn't happen. It wasn't even close. But it was one game. And yeah, they looked terrible. Everybody looked terrible. Coaches, everybody. We all know that. We're not going to go there anymore. So let's see what we can do with the Green Bay game. Okay? Let's talk about that, right? Okay. So the Bears and the Bears and Tampa Bay have they first met in 1977 for the first time, and they have played 61 overall times, and the Bears actually lead. It's kind of refreshing to be leading for once. They have 40 wins to 21 losses. So they lead quite a bit. So let's make it 41 wins on Sunday afternoon. Right, guys? Right. So, it's the beginning of the season, so there's not a lot of stats to compare. It's only one game, but I did look at the stats. The Bears opposed to Tampa Bay, what they both did. Now, Tampa Bay beat Minnesota last week, and then Minnesota lost again last night. They killed themselves against the Tampa Bay game. They had 3 turnovers, and they had, I don't know how many turnovers last night. I fell asleep because I'm still fighting the COVID. I'm negative. I'm out and about, but I'm still get really tired. So, but there was a lot. I woke up in the second half of the game, and it was just like terrible. We thought we were bad. Minnesota worse. Okay, so last week the Bears and Fields had a total of 189 yards passing. Tampa Bay and Bakerfield had 169 yards. The Bears had 122 total yards rushing. Of course, Fields led the way. And Tampa Bay ran for 73 yards last week. We scored 20 points. They scored 20 points. We allowed 38 points. They only allowed 17 points. So there was the big difference, right? So it was very close. Maybe except for the run game, but everything else was pretty close except for the score, right? So, and Baker Mayfield is the quarterback for the Tampa Bay Bucks. He's there now. And, I'm not overly worried about him, but we're going to talk about that in a minute. I'm doing the game my show a little early today, so I've only seen the injuries for Wednesday and Thursday. Obviously, the biggest one is Kyle Gordon, number 6, our backfield second-year player. He's on IR. He broke his hand. So he is. And then there's really, at this point, unless something happens today in practice, there's no real injuries to worry about at this point. So Kyle is the worst one. We're going to miss him, that's for sure. And so the Bears, they've got to play as a unit, right? They've got to play as a unit. They've got the offensive line, the D-line. They have to play better this week, particularly the D-line. The offensive line had flashes. They played a very good first half. Everything just went to hell in the second half. At halftime last week, it was 10-6. So it's just those turnovers and penalties that really, really hurt the Bears. The penalties, particular, and the 14 points that Fields gave to Green Bay on the interception and the fumble. Now, Fields, I can live with. I don't like it, but I can live with interceptions. The fumbles, I can't. That is just ridiculous. You got to hold on to the ball, Fields, and he's been terrible at that. And then it cost us 14 points. We don't have those 14 points. Big big difference in the game, right? The Bears are back in it. So Fields has got to be, he cannot fumble the ball this week, and we'd like no interceptions. And most definitely, he's got to release that ball faster. He is just, he's got to get, boom. He can't be going, because that gives the defense time to adjust to what he's going to do. So Fields has got to start releasing that ball faster, and he's got to really read, and they've got to go downfield. That short passing game last week, I've heard a lot of people talking about it. The Bears put it in there to trick Green Bay because everybody thought, they're going to go to DJ Moore and Mr. Mooney down, long passes. And so people are saying, well, maybe that's what Getsy was trying to do, fool Green Bay. Well, they didn't fool nobody, and they were terrible. You got to throw down the fucking field if you want to get some touchdowns, and we've got the tools to do it. You sign DJ Moore. Use him for what he is. This is the thing about the Bears sometimes that really irritates me, is they have the tools, but they don't use them. They don't know what to do with them. And so we know that Fields has got to calm down. He's got to see the game slower. In my opinion, it was too fast for him again last week. And I thought we overcame that problem at the end of last year. Of course, none of those games really counted because, we weren't going anywhere. So maybe he was more relaxed. Now it's a new season. He's got a lot of pressure on him. But you just got to breathe, Justin, and see the field. Slow it down, and then you'll be fine. Just slow it down and release that ball. The running game looked good in the beginning of the game, and then it looked good at the end. We've got to get a consistent running game going again. We've got the talent. Herbert, and that young rookie, Johnson, I really like what he looks, number 30. He really showed something last week in that game, in the third and fourth quarters. I like this guy. We got to get the running game going again, because the running game will open up the pass game, and that'll make life easier for Justin Fields. So we've got to get back to that running game, and we got to be consistent, and we got to get these running backs. The offensive line got to help open up some holes for these guys, and they got to start getting us first downs, okay? So really, the offense is hang out of the ball fields, get those. Let's hope that they're going to be heading downfield. We're going to use DJ Moore and Mr. Mooney on what we should be. Get Cole Kmet in there a little bit more. No stupid plays in the middle of the field on offense on fourth down. Let's just, there's a lot of arguments on that play when it was 3 minutes into the game, and it was midfield, and it was 4th and 1, and the Bears went for it. I thought it was a huge mistake, even though it sure looks like the Bears got the first down and were not awarded it. Again, we do get ripped off a lot with Green Bay and the refs, that's for sure. I mean, time and time again. But regardless, they shouldn't have gone for it that early in the game. They should have punted the ball, put them back within the 10-yard line or better, and different, outcome. Maybe they don't go down the field and score that touchdown. So, play smart offense and go downfield, and let's get some 7 points. 14 points. I want points. I want you to use it now. Okay, so that's offense. Defense got to look better than it did last week. I mean, I didn't like what I saw at all. And what really worried me about the defense was the secondary. Last year, the secondary was our bright spot. They kept us in games, our secondary, because we had no defensive line, and our linebackers were at best. But the secondary looked horrible last week, and we're not going to keep beating that dead horse, but they did. So they got to really step up, and they got to start playing better. Get your heads in the game, and there's a lot of youngsters back there. There's a lot of youngsters on defense all together, and we got to get our big sign guys on defense, Edmonds, and then the homegrown TJ on. These linebackers have got to get involved in this game. I want to see more. But the D-line, most importantly, has to step up. You've got to start stopping people. You were letting Green Bay run all over you in that third and fourth quarter. It was terrible. In the third quarter particularly, they came out and just ran it down your throat. defense has got to step up now. This is week 2. They'll have more time together, and they better start doing it, and they got to get to Baker Mayfield. And Baker Mayfield is not a huge runner. He will run. He did run last week at one point. It was pretty darn funny. But I'm not overly afraid of that, so we got to go after him, and we've got to rush him, hurry him, sack him. Get in his head, because if you get in Baker's head, he's going to throw an interception. Guarantee it. I guarantee it. But, and the coaches. The coaches have to have a better game. They were just, I don't know where they were last week. I was so unimpressed. I've been very impressed with Coach Flus and the coaching staff up to this point. And everybody can have a bad game, I get it, but not the first game out of the season. That was terrible. You set your players up to fail, and you weren't there for them and the coaches. So, no more stupid early calls by the coaches. 4th down. Let's do a better game plan. Let's get that running game going, and let's throw the ball downfield. Quit with these behind the line shit passes and these short ones. Yeah, you're going to have the check downs, but there was wide open receivers last week from what I've read and heard and seen now that it's kind of hard when you're watching TV. You can't always see, because they're only focused on where the ball's going. So you're not seeing all the other players, and there was players open. Justin just didn't get the ball to him. So that's what he's got to do this week. But the coaches have got to have better play calls for him to be able to do that, okay? And we got to get him confidence early in this game, I think, because of what happened last week. He came out, he was like, I'm sorry, I sucked, blah, blah, blah. He did. But you got to get this young man confidence again. So we got to get out there, make some good plays. Yeah, then you're saying, well, the safe passes are the short ones. Okay, in the first couple, I don't care. But we got to start going downfield. You've got to make that defense make you honest. Force them to defend you. And the Bears did not do that last week, and that's what they have to do this week. The offense has to force that defense to defend the game, okay? And so everybody really has to have a better game than last week. Let's face it. I mean, it just is. They were horrible, but I am sure they're all focused now. Tampa Bay, we got to win this game. It's important. If we don't win it, is it the end of the season for us? Of course not, because then there's 15 more games. But we really need to go in there and turn around what happened last week to get the confidence. I think part of the Bears' problem is they've been losing for so long, and particularly this team last year, they only had 3 wins. They don't know how to win. This coaching staff has to teach these players how to win again, how it feels to win. They don't know. They've been losing for the last 3 seasons, longer than that, last 3-4 seasons. But the last season, we have a lot of returning guys this season, and you got to teach them how to win. That's the biggest problem. We don't know how to do that. It's been so damn long, we forgot how to do it. And then you got all these youngsters coming in that are rookies, and a lot of them came from winning college teams. So they're like, hey, wait a minute, what is this shit? I'm used to winning, right? But so bring that. Let's get the enthusiasm back. I don't want to see the Bears after a drive go sit on the bench and sit there. Fields, go get to the tablet, sit down with Getsy or the quarterback coach, and go over those plays and get everybody involved. Get Mooney, get DJ Moore. Let's look at these tablets and see what went wrong and go change it the next time out. Don't sit there and look like a bunch of little crybabies, and walking around the field with your heads down. You keep your heads up high. This is the National Football League. You're in the National Football League. You are an elite player if you're playing in the National Football League. Hold your head up high and have some fucking confidence, okay? That's what the Bears need. Start believing that you can win this game and the next game and the next game. And if you start to believe it and really believe it, it's going to happen. And I think that's part of the Bears' problem is they don't know how to win. And that starts with coaches and goes on. Okay, so My threes, you know my threes. If you've been watching for 4 years or just started watching, I have threes. I always go into the threes. Time of possession, penalties, 5 or less, and turnovers. If the Bears win time of possession, they have less than 5 penalties and win the turnover battle, good chance they're going to win this game or they're going to be in it. So important. Last week, we won the time of possession by 1 point. 1 minute. So that didn't really count. We didn't win the penalties and we didn't win the turnovers. So we've got to do that this week. No more turnovers on the offense. We want the defense to get in there and start causing some turnovers. And we need to get some sacks, okay? But the threes are very important. So let's get those threes. Let's get that O-line working together. Each week it's going to get better. Justin, hang on to the ball. No fumbling. No interceptions. Throw it downfield. Faster release. Get that running game going. And, the more the running game goes, the more you're going to eat up the time and the more the time of possession you win. And if you win the time of possession, their offense is off the field if you're winning, and that helps your defense. So time of possession is so important. You eat up the clock. You hopefully go down and score. You keep their offense off the field and your defense off the field, and you're wearing their defense down. That's why the time of possession is so huge. Penalties, I don't have to tell you that. Last week, penalties ruined more drives than not last week, and we all know that. You'd have a first down, boom, that came the flag. Now you're back 1st and 20. Then we were back 1st and 25. You know what? The Bears can't do that. They can't come back from that. So important. And to get a turnover or 2 on defense helps your offense. It helps your offense, and it helps your defense. You get off the field, and you bring your offense back out, okay? So it's really quite simple what the Bears need to do. They just need to do it. Okay, Bears? Let's get back to learning how to win. So important, okay? And speaking of winning, I did a little trivia, and there was only one person that actually answered it, and DJ Rose, you were a winner. Winner, chicken dinner. He got it right. My question was, how many teams in the NFL, how many states in the NFL have more than 2 teams? Have 2 teams, and how many states have 3 teams? And he got them right. There are 5 states that have 2 teams. PA, Pittsburgh. They have 2 teams. Ohio, they have 2 teams. New Jersey has 2 teams. Maryland has 2 teams, and Texas has 2 teams. The teams the states that have 3 teams, Florida and California. So the 3 teams are Tampa Bay, Miami, Jacksonville, California, 49ers, Rams, and Los Angeles Chargers. So that's it. Now, there are 27 states that don't have national football at all. And in a lot of those states that don't have a national football team, they have huge college teams. They're very big in the South. They love their college because they don't really have some of them have. And then there's 16 states that have 1 team. And of course, we're one of them. So that was the little trivia for last week, and maybe Monday I didn't come up with one today, but so we know what we got to do. I'm not going to do a super long show because there's really not a lot to talk about. This is game 2. We know what we have to do, and I've told you, and this is what we got to do. And I really think that it's really important that the Bears pull this game out for their own mental. And I don't think Illinois people can take much more. And, that's the thing. Brisker, our second-year backfield number 9, he was not happy that the Bears fans were booing. Now, I'm 50-50. I'm not a big fan of booing a team. But I understand where the fans are coming from. First of all, you're spending a lot of money on a ticket. Those are not, you're spending a lot, $100-something to get into see the Bears. And those are loyal fans. So they deserve a good football game. And Bears fans have just been tired. See, these rookies don't understand. It's not just one game, it's been years and years of frustration, of letting us down. One Super Bowl win in their history is just not good enough. And, so many letdown years, so much promise. And then you go in and and we've never had a good quarterback ever. A consistent. We may have a flash here and there, but that's it. We've never had like New England with Brady, Favre, and then Rodgers, the 49ers had great quarterbacks for so many years. Dan Marino with Miami. We didn't have any. We don't have any of that. We don't know what that's like, and we want it. We want a quarterback that's going to win week in and week out, year in and year out. And we haven't had it. So fans are frustrated. And they were given a lot of promises, I will say, in the offseason that this was going to be a better year. And there was a lot of talk. And then they show up and look as flat can be. That's why people were booing, and that's why we're pissed. Because, had we come out and played with Green Bay, and it would have been a close score, we lost by 3 points, people wouldn't have been as pissed. But because we look so horrible, you can understand it. People are like, oh, great, here we go again. So, you know what, Bears, if you don't want the fans to boo, then show up on Sunday and play professional football. And you won't be booed. Give 110%. I didn't see 100% out there on Sunday. You didn't. And it was really just so frustrating and disappointing. So, players, you don't want to get booed? Then play a solid 60-minute game. And that's what you got to do in Tampa Bay. Now, it's going to be hot there. It's going to be in the upper 80s. So it's going to be warm on the field. It's probably going to be in the upper 90s on the field. We can win this game. You've got to go after Mayfield, get in his head, because he is not going to throw a million for yards. He's not going to throw for a lot of yards. And if the Bears can get to him, we'll be okay. And everybody just needs to take a deep breath, and we can win this game. Okay? There's really not more. It's kind of a short show today because we know. I'm not going to keep beating the dead horse. I'm just not. So we know what we have to do. Let's go ahead and do it, right, Bears fans? Let's get a win, and I believe we are going to win 27-20 on Sunday morning in Tampa Bay, although it's morning here, not where you guys are, because, we have breakfast and watch football here because it starts at 10 a.m. here. Yeah, a little early to start open up a beer, so I got to wait till after halftime before I can open up a beer. But I don't know if I will be. I'm still trying to get over this COVID. I will tell you what, everybody please stay healthy. COVID, I guess, is wrapping up again. I hadn't even thought about it when I took the trip to New York, and I came back very sick. I'm better, but I can't taste or smell a damn thing. I still get really tired, and I've still got a bad head cold. But last week, I had 101 fever for 3 to 4 days. I had migraine headaches. It was awful. So please stay healthy, because I don't want any of my watchers, my supporters getting sick, because it's just not fun. I mean, it was a real deal. It knocked me off, and I'm still not great by any means. I mean, I have been in bed since I caught COVID by 8 o'clock every night. I know, it's kind of embarrassing, but it's true. So please stay healthy, because I love you guys. And please, if you're new to the show, tell everybody about me. I'd love to have some more people watching me. You know what? I'm just so thrilled that one person watches me. The fact that I get over 100 views a show is so cool. I just love people who support me, and I just love talking Chicago Bears. Of course, this is all my opinion. Doesn't mean I'm right. Doesn't mean I'm wrong. It's just my opinion. Because you know what? It's my show. Right? And I'm in season 4. Yeah. Did I tell you? Season 4. I know. So, I love you guys. Stay positive. And as always, I always tell you people, be kind to one another. Let's stop hate. Let's love one another. Times are just really tough right now and have been for quite a while, and we need to rally around each other. Listen, Bear fans stick together. Why can't we all stick together and just love one another? When you're out and about, if you see somebody, smile. There's nothing better than smiling, because frowning, look at it. What is that all about? So I go out, I talk to people. My sister, she's to this day, oh God, when we were in New York a couple weeks ago, she's like, you are talking to everybody. Would you stop and keep up with us? But I do. I talk to everybody, and I love hearing people's stories. That's why. And of course, I share mine too. So, and you know what? Monday, I got to think of a good bear story. I got a million of them, but so... Again, let's stick together, love one another, be kind, and let's go Bears, right? So I love you guys. I really, really appreciate the support. So I will be back on Monday after Sundays, and we will hopefully be on a Victory Monday. And if we win, I will, again, like last year, only did it 3 times, I will sing the victory song. As bad as it is, I will. And I know you're going to want to hear that. I know. It's okay, people. Calm down. I hear you. You're like, yeah, Lynn. Okay. I love you guys. Go Bears. See you Monday. And as always, keep on rocking and rolling from Vegas, baby. Get us a win.